Hey, hey. I am back, guys. I know I left y'all hanging last week. I didn't mean to, but duty called. I had to go to a conference at the last minute. And then I had to take a little bit of a vacation because your girl needed to reset because my mind was about to explode. So, welcome back to Sip with Joy. I missed you guys last week. This is a show about a girl, her wine, and her feelings. And hopefully, if you are tuning in to the first time, I am that girl, and I am Joy M. Hutton, a serial entrepreneur and lover of food and wine. So, welcome. And speaking of wine, I am drinking a Sauvignon Blanc. So I told you guys that I would bring white wines to you, even though we're going into the fall and winter. It's okay. You can still drink white wine in the fall. But this is a Sauvignon Blanc from New Zealand. So write that down. New Zealand Sauvignon Blancs are my favorite because they have more of a citrusy taste and it's more crisp and fresh. So those are my favorites. So I love me a good Sauvignon Blanc from New Zealand. I'm going to take a sip. Hey guys. Hey, I miss y'all. Hey Tiffany, Robin, Rhonda, Alea. Hey Lizzle. You like the yellow? You like the yellow? You like that? Hey Kamisha. Hey guys. I miss y'all. Okay, take a drink so we can get started. All right, so yes, that's the wine. And oh, I forgot. Yeah, that's me. I'm Joy M. Hutton. All right, guys. So welcome back again. Like I said, I had to reset and get my life together over here. All right, so today's topic, we're going to jump right in, is ain't no retirement. All right, and so I want to discuss Tom Brady and Gisele Bündchen. I might be jacking her name all the way up. Sorry, Gisele. And all these divorces in the media. Like, what is going on? What is in the water, y'all? I need somebody to tell me what's going on because, I mean, it's just divorce after divorce after divorce. I just heard about Cynthia Bailey and her husband last week. And then, of course, you all heard about Tia Mowry and her husband. But it's just like divorce after divorce after divorce. And I'm like, really, what is going on in the water? Like, what's happening out here? So I want to talk about Tom Brady and Gisele because it's been really controversial, and I've had conversations with different friends about it. I've even talked to my mom and my dad, and it's been different sides to it. And so I want to talk about I want to get you all's thoughts. Hey LC, I want to get you all's thoughts on it because at first, for me, when I first heard about it, because Gisele kind of gave Tom an ultimatum, not kind of, she did, about retiring. And Tom Brady is 45 years old, in case you guys didn't know. And Tom Brady is a football player, for those of you who don't watch football. He used to play for the Patriots. Now he's with Tampa Bay, but he's a star, okay, and that is Gigi. I guess Gigi doesn't feel too good about this topic, but so he's been in the league for over 20 years. Is it over 20 years? Yeah, maybe over 20 years. I might have that number wrong, but close. If it's not over 20, it's close to 20. Gigi, do you mind? Okay, thank you. All right, so I and one would think, okay, when are you going to take a break, Tom? Like you're almost 50. You need to spend time with your family, what have you. So when I first heard that she gave him an ultimatum, I felt some type of way. I'm like, okay, Gisele, you knew you married a football player and this is what you signed up for. And I was just like, what do you expect? And then Tom is not an average player, so his lifespan is a little longer. His lifespan in the game is longer than the average player who may be in the league for 3 to 5 years. He's been in there for a while. So I kind of had mixed feelings because I was like, okay, you knew who you got with, and why are you giving this man an ultimatum? Like, you have your career. And so, but then I had to think of it where it's two high power people, because she did have a career. They have children. And I remember, I think I mentioned this on here, where I told you guys that I had a friend who said she had a conversation with a guy, and he said that if two successful people get together, a woman and a man get together, that the woman is going to have to kind of dim her light or step back. And so I was just like, why is it that the woman always has to take a step back? And I was talking to my mom earlier, and she's like, yeah, those responsibilities generally fall on the woman, taking care of the kids, because we're the nurturers and all this stuff. But when you have two high powered people, why does the woman have to take a step back? And so, I still am torn on this topic because I just feel like women always have to sacrifice, and when do things change? And I'll never forget that my ex told me, he was like, women ruin things when they decided to go and work. And I was like, what? And because he was like, women ruin things by wanting to be independent, wanting their own money. Things were okay when women decided to be in the home, and we disrupted how society was going by deciding to go and get jobs. Now, although I don't like that statement, it is true in a sense, because now we're making our own money, we have careers, we got needs, we got wants, and all these things. So I get what he was saying to a certain extent, but it's just not fair. And I'm like, who's making these rules? So I would love to hear you all's thoughts on this. Chime in the chat. This is an open conversation. But, and essentially with the Tom Brady and Gisele situation, Gisele has taken a back seat. And she's like, okay, you need to be at home with your family. And I think the biggest point of contention, and we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but the biggest point of contention is he told her he would go ahead and retire. But I think Tom sat at home and he was like, I can't do this. I still got life in me. Now, he out there looking a little Skeletorish right now. I don't know. He needs to just go and sit down somewhere. But he didn't commit to what he said. And so she's like, enough is enough. But again, we don't know the conversations that have gone on behind the scenes and why he feels the way that he does. But again, you look at other couples, but I also had to look at other couples who, like LeBron and his wife, for example. But Savannah, she stays at home with the kids. She may have some side things that she's doing, but Gisele was like a, top model and what have you. And she had a lot more things going on. And so, but she had somebody got to stay at the home with the kids. And even though you can hire help, there still should be that family dynamic. So again, her career is taking a back seat, and then they're moving. They were in New England, now they're in Florida, and then they got a house in California. So you're just flying your kids all over the place. So it's a lot. Tiffany said, that's crazy. Sorry that we want to be able to be successful outside of the home. Right. Why? Yeah, exactly. Why do we have to make a choice? And I remember when I was in college, one of my professors wrote a book called Having It All. And having it all, it's like, why can't we be married, have the career, have the kids, if that's what you want? But really, it was talking about what your own definition of having it all is. But women, at the end of the day, still end up having to make some type of sacrifice. And even when you talk to people, like I know other entrepreneurial couples, the man is put first, especially when the woman has kids. So again, I like to hear what you guys have to say about this. But also the other thing too about Tom and Gisele is, when you go into a relationship, especially when I think about athletes, I think about a firefighter. If I was married to a firefighter, I mean, the way my stress would go through the roof, or a cop or anything like that. When you're married to people in certain careers and you are home by yourself. And I remember when I was married, my ex took a job and I said, okay, this job is going to be stressful and it's going to take you away from home a lot. So I was like, you're gonna have to give me a dog. So hence, this is where Gigi came from. But I was like, I'm gonna be at home by myself. But we had a conversation about this before. Now, he knew what he was getting into, but he decided to do it anyway. And then he was stressed. And I'm like, I told you. I didn't want to say it. I told you so. But in this case, Tom is a football player. This is his life. And I think for him to just walk away, especially given an ultimatum when he's not necessarily ready, I think that this earpiece is acting a fool today. But I think that with him being given an ultimatum and not necessarily being ready, that was like I said, the point of contention. He's like, I still got life in me, even though he doesn't look like it. But he said, I still got life in me. Football is my life. And some people, when they stop the very thing that they love, they become depressed, they become detached. So they might have had even more problems if he had retired. But again, it's like it's a family that you have to raise. Now, let me tell you where I lost respect for Tom Brady. He had a press conference, and the reason why this episode is called "Ain't No Retirement" is because he went on this press conference and basically was like, yeah, we talking about retiring, blah, blah, blah. Ain't no retirement. And I feel like that was just a slap in the face to Gisele, because this woman has carried your children, has stood by your side between the moves and injuries and all the cheating scandals. I'm talking about football cheating, not cheating in their marriage, but all the scandals that the Patriots had endured, and she still stuck by his side. And so it's like, you're gonna just ain't no retirement. That was for Gisele, and to me, that was very arrogant. It was selfish, and I didn't like that. Okay, Tiffany said it should be our choice if we want to be at home. I believe Gisele made more money than her husband anyway. She most definitely did. I mean, Giselle's a top model. Like, she most definitely did. And that's the thing too. Like, sometimes you get with certain men and it's power tripping. And I the more this whole incident has just come out with him retiring, the more I see ugly sides of him, and I don't like that. Like, I used to love Tom Brady. I love Tom Brady as a player because of his discipline and what have you. But now I'm just kind of like, really, Tom? You just gonna just walk away from your family? And he's very much so making a decision to choose football over family. And I'm like, so Tom, you're not thinking about when you're going to be sitting there in your Jordache jeans with no teeth, balding up here, and then you don't have a relationship with your kids. Your kids are going to hate you because you weren't around and you decided to play football until you're 60 years old. He's not thinking about that. And so I just think it's not him. It's not just about him. It's about your family and what you've built. But again, on the other side of it, it's like, okay, football is my life, and you knew football was my life. But I think that's also goes back to conversations about expectations. Now, I don't think he knew he would play until he was 50 years old, but football is his life. Look at LeBron. LeBron is going to play until his son probably gets in the league, but again, Savannah and LeBron are on different playing fields, and it's different from Gisele and Tom, because Gisele really gave up a lot in terms of her career in modeling and what have you. Okay, my mom said your dad had a work schedule where he could be there for you all when my work schedule required more. It worked out for us, but it depends on the people and what the level of commitment is. Absolutely. I definitely agree with that, Lydia. But is he going to be sitting around in Jordache jeans, Shaq shoes, and a receding hairline? That is what he's going to be looking like, Lydia. And with no teeth, because he already, something going on up in there. Tom ain't gonna be looking good when he's about 60. He is not aging well. So let's see. So I talked about women having to take a step back. I talked about the arrogance, dating an athlete, and dating an elite athlete or an above average athlete. But yeah, it's just unfortunate when you have two high power individuals where, again, the woman has to take a step back. Okay, my mom said probably not hair implants and Botox. Yeah, I don't know. He's still going to look like Skeletor because he looking a little, I don't know. Tom is not looking well. It's probably all this stress he's putting himself under. And he doesn't have to. Like, take care of your family, Tom. I don't know. I'm torn. But I can open the lines if y'all got something to say about it. You can call in to 713-396-0277 if you have any comments. And I just want to know what you guys have to say about that, because I'm just, I don't know. Tom really disappointed me with that. So while we're waiting for callers, I'm going to go into this What the Sip. and Neo wants his wife to delete any accusations of cheating online because he's losing money on deals. But you didn't think about that, Neo, when you were out here cheating. It's always you thinking about the consequences of your actions after the fact. No, like you did what you did. You didn't think about how it would affect me, how it would affect your family, and now all of a sudden that it's out there, now you have something to say. Like, no, Neo, it don't work like that. Is you losing money. Should have thought about that when you was out there slinging that thing. So again, 713-396-0277. And let me see, I didn't check any questions. Let me see if there were any questions. I've been running today, y'all. Okay, we have a caller. Hello, caller. Hello.
Hello.
Turn your TV or computer down.
Okay, hold on. Let me get my phone.
It's like those radio callers that have the radio on and they want they want to hear themselves on the radio. Hey, Sipper.
Absolutely.
Is this my mommy?
Hey, it's mommy.
Hey, mommy.
So, I was calling to talk about Tom, of course. First of all, I do agree. I feel like he's selfish and that he really, his whole agenda, I think he just had this plan. Okay, I'm going to get married, drop a few babies, and then life will be perfect. I've left my seed on the land, and I'm moving on. And like you said, for him, with football, it is his life. He has done football ever since he was a kid. And this is his dream.
Yeah.
And now that it's here, he's finding it very difficult to transition into being a family man. Now, maybe in another 5 to 7 years, he might settle down and get in the groove. But I think that's why you have all these sports analysts that are previous coaches and all this other stuff, because they live and breathe it.
Right.
And they don't know how to give it up. Look at Terry, what's his name?
Terry Bradshaw.
From Dallas. Yeah. I mean, first of all, he married that younger woman, and then now she's going to take half of everything. And then, just the whole idea of they live and breathe football. Right. And they also want to stay relevant. Guys go off and do other things. They did their time in football, and they know how to transition. They have corporations and businesses, and they have other interests. But some people can't do that.
Right.
And that's sort of like where he's at. He's just stuck in it.
Absolutely. So, when he has to deal, he's going to be sitting there a lonely man later on when he retires, and I don't know, for some reason I feel in my spirit that his kids are gonna resent him, because they're with his wife, having to bear everything. I just feel like his kids are gonna resent him later for making that choice.
They see that, so that's gonna be a consequence. And you know what? That's the consequence he's just going to have to live with, because, maybe at some point they can reconcile, but I think that especially because he has, 4 kids, I think, 3 or 4?
Yeah.
And, they was popping them babies out. And so now he just wants to walk away from all of it. It's just a very selfish act. And, like I said, it depends on the person that you have in your life.
Right.
Where their level of commitment is. And I think that he sort of hoodwinked and bamboozled Gisele. And he thought he could even do it.
Yeah.
Maybe he thought he. But then once that season gets revved up and everything, and he starts seeing everybody else going off to practice camps and stuff, he was like, "Oh, heck no, I can't." So it's unfortunate, but My life ain't gonna change. So,
Yeah. Right, mine either. But his can change instantly. He better hope he doesn't get injured this season, shoot, because he really gonna be screwed.
well, I mean, that's another thing.
Karma
He's
is a
been pretty
mother.
healthy. Yeah, he is, having difficulties. This is something that he's never experienced
Yeah,
before.
because he 45.
You know, right? I mean, he's not bouncing back like he used to, and even though they're protecting him, he still is not having a relevant game this year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's just unfortunate, but sometimes maybe that's what karma is.
Yeah.
Um, he might just have a piss poor season.
Right.
you know.
Right. Well, thank you, Mommy, for calling in.
You're welcome. On to the next one.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. So, yeah, I definitely agree with my mom. Okay, so you all are funny. The reaction to the action, Leah said, Neo, oh God, his hairline been receded. It's gone. Sharon said, Neo, please go spin around until you get dizzy. Think about the consequences before you act. Junior, hey, I am drinking a Sauvignon Blanc from New Zealand. It's from Oyster Bay. And Lydia said, when you won't sit down voluntarily, God will help you take several seats, okay? Yes, absolutely. Look, Tom better watch his back. He's going to eat those words. Ain't no retirement. It was the ain't no retirement for me. Like, did you really have to do that, Tom? I didn't like it. Okay, so I'm going to pop this number up one more time. If you guys want to call, 713-396-0277. And yeah, I didn't have any questions tonight. Y'all ain't no questions for me. Y'all mad that I took a week off? Is that what happened? You mad at me? You mad at me for taking a week off? Look, I had to go to a conference, guys. It was not planned at all. Vacation was planned, but I was gonna do Sip with Joy first and then go to vacation. That's how much I'm dedicated. Yes, you may ask anything. Stay tuned. Reviews. I'm so afraid. When people ask you if you can ask anything, they, I don't know. What you want to ask me? Stay tuned. Reviews. Come on with it. What did you sip in Mexico? Oh, I was drinking margaritas. I was drinking wine. Let's see. I had a cab. I had some rosé. I had some cava. I had cuvée. Well, yeah, I was drinking a lot. Let's see. Okay. Well, okay, y'all. I got a caller. Hey, Sipper.
Hi, Joy. This is Tiffany. How are you?
Hey, Tiffany. I'm good. How are you? Good to hear your voice.
I'm great. I know it's been a while. I was like, I have to call in and get in on this one.
Uh-oh.
Me and my mother. Yeah, because me and my mother had this discussion.
Yeah.
And just like your mom talked about your mother and your father doing different things within the household to accommodate the household,
right.
I was raised the same way. And my mom was really somewhat of the breadwinner in the house. My stepfather did very well himself too, but there were times where she was gone, and he had to hold it down.
Right.
And it worked for them. And I never saw, she always, God rest his soul, he passed away last year. She always held him in the highest regards within his career. They're both doctors, but she also was a parole board judge, and it had her traveling a lot. And it works for them. I think that, within a marriage, obviously, you have to have whatever your commitments are and whatever it is that y'all decide that's going to work. And I feel like he reneged on his. And she's been waiting.
Yeah.
Because I remember her as a top model, it took me looking at her picture going, oh, yeah. Wasn't she one of the Victoria's Secret models,
she was,
with Tyra Banks and all that?
Had a lot of brand partnerships. Yeah, she was major. And still is, honestly. Yeah.
Yes. And she can, we're in the day and age now, you don't have to be 16 to be a top model anymore.
Yeah.
So she could still be out there doing her thing, but, to renege after all that time, like, I don't know, he kind of called her bluff, and she was like, well, look, this was the agreement that we made.
Right.
It's a shame, though. It really is.
Yeah,
it's a shame.
It's selfish, and we don't know the conversations that happen, behind the scenes with them, because there were articles out there that said she gave him an ultimatum, and I don't think ultimatums are fair. I don't think that's fair, especially when this is this man's life now. But if there was a conversation, a few years ago, like, okay, so are you planning on retiring anytime soon so we can focus on the family? And if that was a conversation and the expectations were set ahead of time, then, okay, Tom, you, like you said, you reneged on what you said you were going to do, and that's not fair. Yeah. But I also think, I was telling a friend of mine, I had a boss that, she felt like if she stopped working, she was going to die. And she was terminally ill. And the CEO of the company was like, ma'am, we support you. Like, go take care of your health and everything. And she was working literally until she died. She drove herself to hospice. And I feel like Tom gonna be up there with a cane. He's gonna play that game until he has nothing left. I mean, Brett Favre came back. Michael Jordan, I'm sure if Kobe was alive, Kobe would still be playing the game, And I'm not just talking about an average player. Like, I'm talking about these elite players who have more left in them, right? And they know they have more left in them. But at some point, it's like you have to know when it's time to let it go.
When if you're
when is enough, and your family is on the line.
And that's what I'm like, at some point I get working within your ministry. Now, I don't know about that in football, but I'm just saying, I know it's his passion. That's very clear. But to put that on the line for your family, like, what are your kids going to say 5, 10, 12 years down the line?
And that's what I was saying.
How are they going to feel?
Yeah, I really feel like they'll resent him. I really feel like they'll resent him. They're like, really, Dad? Like, you weren't around? Yeah. He's almost 50.
Yeah. Like, why don't you let some of these young heads have it?
Yeah.
Or why don't you find switch the passion into something else, to coaching, to broadcasting, whatever. Have some
camp. He has options.
Do something different. Yeah.
But I call it the Peter Pan syndrome. It's men don't want to grow old. They don't want to grow old, and they gonna just ride it until the wheels fall off.
Ride it out. Exactly. And especially in that sport, we know of the trauma that happens to their body. I'm from San Diego. My mother knows Junior Seau's family personally. To know of what happened to him, it was like, are you kidding me? And he wasn't even that horrible in his body, but still, it jacks up their mind. Yeah, but their minds are still getting tossed around, So, you got to know when the time is. It's such a physical sport. You can't do that forever.
It is.
Yeah,
you got to know when to let go. You let go and let God.
Yes. And get in there with your family.
Right. Go take care of your family, Tom.
Listen, who's going to take care of you and wipe your behind?
Right. That's what I'm saying. He's going to be there with no teeth, no hair, in them Jordache jeans.
Yeah.
Looking crazy. Looking over there looking like... Over there looking like Billy Bob.
You see what I'm saying? Like, come on, let's think wisely. Let's think wisely.
Yes.
Because ain't nobody gonna want to take care of that.
Absolutely.
Your family love you. Like, don't do that.
It's like when you had
grateful.
the love, you didn't know what to do with it.
Yes.
You weren't capable of receiving it.
I'm just saying.
Exactly.
Blessings to you, Tom Brady.
Right.
Pray
for him. That's all you can do is pray for him. Oh, man. Thank you, Tiffany.
Yes, ma'am. It was nice talking to you.
You too.
All right.
Okay.
Have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. That was good. Okay. All the questions. Okay. All the questions. Stay tuned. Reviews. Okay. Would you consider being part of a Ready to Love All-Star season? I don't even know what that means as far as All-Star. But because there weren't many stars, but that's objective. But yeah, drums or flats. I'm a drums girl all the way. Let's see. Robin said, like Mama Hutton said, what is your level of commitment to the relationship? It is a compromise and doing what's best for the whole family and not just for him. Absolutely. Let's see. My mom said, absolutely, Robin. Tom is making more hits these days. He better get some sense. Right. Tom gonna be, look, I'm telling you, he better watch his back. Karma comes back around. Okay, question 3. Can two people truly fall out of love? Absolutely. That's an obvious question. Stay tuned. Reviews. Local video marketing. Tom can buy another wife. Gisele can't buy another Tom. Okay. So Lydia on the shade. Stay tuned. Reviews. How would you define cheating within a relationship? I think that's for another episode. Okay. We will talk about cheating on another episode of Sip with Joy. I've enjoyed you guys tonight, and thank you for engaging in this conversation because it's been a controversial topic, and I'm so glad that I got to talk to you all about it because I'm like, yeah. Really? How rude? Okay. Anyway, I'll see you guys back here next week. Love you. Bye.